What's up, hustlers, shiners, gems, and gents? It is your girl, Natima Cherie, Queen Pin of the Diamond Writers and Transparent Gem Inc. here with another fire episode of Hustle and Shine. I have missed you guys. So glad that you're here. I see y'all filling up the studio. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Tonight, it is all about the fellas, ladies. I'm sorry. We are always tailoring our message to you, catering to you, pouring into you. But tonight, our gents, our men are getting the shine. So I am so excited to jump right into this show. But I would not be the leader and the diamond that I am if I did not first congratulate my diamond writers on the release of their second anthology. That sophomore anthology came out yesterday. Congratulations to you, ladies. I am so proud of this work. It is an amazing book. I have literally read it several times, not just because I compiled it and contributed to it, but because it is just a dope read. So if you have not already gotten your copy of Beneath the Crown, Her Story, Her Power, Her Voice, what are you doing with your life? Like, I'm a pause. Like, what are you doing? It's on Amazon. It's on Kindle. It's on the Diamond Writers website. Like, what are we doing? You can hit up any of the diamonds and get an autographed copy, or you can meet us in DC at the first stop of the Hustle and Shine tour on April the 23rd, and you can get a copy signed by all 12 of our contributing diamonds. However you choose to do it, just make sure that you get it. Get you a copy, get your homegirl a copy, get your hairstylist a copy, grab a copy of this book. You know what? I honestly think this book is so dope. Our men are going to enjoy it. So y'all get a copy for your boo, for your bae, for your husband, whoever. Y'all go get Beneath the Crown. I am so proud of you, diamonds. Much love and shine to all of you. This was an amazing project. I enjoyed the journey and really looking forward to what is ahead of us. Shout out to our newer diamonds. Welcome, ladies. Bring the shine in. We are getting ready for that next project. So with that said and out the way, I am ready to bring out my guests. Again, very excited about having the fellas on. Y'all show them love, drop diamonds, drop hearts, drop crowns, show them respect. If they say something that you don't agree with, it is not about you. So please make sure that you refrain from acting ugly in my comments, because y'all know all of New York will be engaged and I will come for you personally. Okay. So make sure that you're showing these fellas respect, because they could have been anywhere else, but they are here with us tonight to help us to understand them and what they need from us as women. So before I ramble, let me bring out my first guest, which happens to be my boo thing, my husband. Y'all already know him. He's been on the show many a times. But where is Morpheus? Where is Morpheus Speaks? We can't hear you. Hold on. All right, there you go. Hello.
What's going on?
Nothing much. Good evening. Welcome to the show.
Y'all got to pardon my cap. You know what I'm saying? I'm due for a retwist. It's coming soon.
Yes, Lock Journey. I'm here for it. So please, introduce yourself for those who may not be acquainted with you and your affiliation with the Hustle and Shine show.
What's up, everybody? I'm Morpheus Speaks. Speaker extraordinaire, real estate investor, Natima's boo thing, chocolate drop, dad, is just a black man trying to, build my community up, one speaking engagement at a time.
Love it. Well, thank you for always making time for this podcast. This platform, there's so many of the fans and supporters that adore you and love your perspective and appreciate what you offer. So thank you again for being on the show. I got a buddy of mine, a friend of mine, a homie of mine. Oh my gosh, I adore this man. He is just so dope on so many levels. We go way back like Fat Laces and Fades. Where is my dude, Jared? Jared, are you here? Are you in the building? Where you at?
I am here and at
What's
work.
up, Jay?
What's going on with you? What's going on? I hope to have all of the titles that Morpheus used. I'm like, that's a good title. I want that. That's my aim, man. That's my aim.
Yes, absolutely. Well, listen, that's what these connections are all about. Like, he is holding it down in real estate and speaking and educating and mentoring. And I know that's where your heart is. So definitely make sure after the show that y'all connect and collab. I think there's a lot that you two can exchange, just being amazingly dope, man. And I mean, y'all connected to me. So enough said, right? But you came with backup. Jared, you brought backup for us, and I really appreciate it. I'm going to bring him out, but before I do, please introduce yourself. Tell us about your hustle. Let the platform know who you are.
Oh, okay. Hold on 1 second.
Yep. Bruh is working, y'all. That's that good. That's that good Secret Service job. Y'all better let him live.
That's not a joke either. The bro is really protecting like
no,
Secret
we're
Service.
serious. Right, we're serious about that thing. We're serious.
My vest off, just to make everything.
We appreciate it. Yeah.
I'm Jared. A little bit myself. Served 5 years in the Navy. I taught kindergarten for a bit, so I have a background in education, a lot of community work, a lot of support with legitimate Black businesses, and great minds like Natima. I support her to the death of me, and any woman of her caliber, anybody of her caliber. Currently, I'm in federal law enforcement. I love it. As a Black man, I never thought I'd be a police officer, but it's done wonders for my psyche and how I view life and other people's everyday struggles. So that's me. That's me.
Wow. Well, that is good. Thank you so much again. And like I said, you got backup with you, and we are so excited. Morpheus and I just met Andre, but you have known him for a while. So I'm gonna let him come out and introduce himself. Where is Andre, the speaker extraordinaire?
Hey, how's it going? Good evening.
Hi, good evening. Welcome.
Be here. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for spending the evening with us. We're about to have a really dope show, a dope hour. But before we get started, please introduce yourself to our platform. Let the folks know your hustle.
Hey, good evening to everyone out there. My name is Andre. Something about me, I'm a lover of life, lover of people. I'm currently in the military right now, but I definitely have a different platform, Perfect Imperfections. You can see where we definitely push to see the beauty in individuals. I focus on spiritual development, financial development, physical development, emotional development. I'm a mentor, I'm a coach, life coach, spiritual guidance coach, and a host of other things. But I'm definitely excited to be here and share with you guys.
So dope. So dope. Thank you so much. Listen, did y'all hear all of that? Coach, like, come on. Like, listen. This is what I'm telling y'all. This show is about to be legit. So make sure that you get your notebooks, your pen. Y'all gonna want to take notes. Go get your bae, your homeboy, your little brother, your cousin that don't want to change, because these men about to be talking real talk. So before I get started, I just want to see who's in the audience, who is here with us tonight. Real quick, let's show some love. One of my diamonds. Hello, Colleen. Welcome, Queen. Thank you for always showing up. We got another diamond in the building. Jessica, what's up, Queen? Melly Mel, that is the VP of the Diamond Writers. Hello, welcome. Colleen, again, we see you, sis. Koya says, I'm going to order mine tomorrow. I appreciate that, sis. Go get that. Go get that. We got Talia, another one of our diamonds, saying, hey, beautiful. Thank y'all for the love, but please, y'all show some love to the men. Show some love to the fellas that are here. So, gentlemen, I want to introduce tonight's topic. It is an important topic to me, having been raised by a Black man, a dope Black man, very present, engaged, sober father. I think men are not getting enough attention and notoriety and respect, especially from women, especially in media. And I'm talking all forms of media, not just social media. I'm talking movies, literature, any type of media. And we're going to get to that a little bit later. But I want to address first and hear from each of you. What do you think when you read that title that I came up with, Man Enough, Is Masculinity in Crisis? And I'm going to actually come to you first, Andre, as our newbie. I'm going to let you break the night open. Let us know what you think of when you read that title.
The title, I think men, we have a hard struggle with identity and who we are. Not having father in our homes, not having that idea of what a man should look like, especially a strong Black man. We really, I believe we are confused on living up to it. As I grew and did my best to become a man, I don't think I really truly found myself until the age of 28. So in the midst of all that growth, what does relationships look like? What does dating look like? What does having sex look like? Like really, truly creating that foundation of love? What is being a provider? I learned to understand that a man, this identity, he's a provider, but a boy, he's a consumer. So a lot of us, we like to use the title of I'm a man, but are you really? What are you providing for? Who are you giving to? Who are you leaving legacy behind? And so for me, I think we're still trying to discover who we are. And without that man telling you that, hey, brother, you are a man. I see you. I see your kingmanship. I see. And even women, like, I appreciate you. I think we continue to stay lost.
Wow. You said so much, like, I don't even know what to address. Like, you said so much. But one thing I did fail to do, and please forgive me, thank you to both you and Jared for your service and your sacrifice. Really appreciate it. So forgive me for not doing that earlier. But wow, like you just said a mouthful. So I'm serious, ladies. This is for you to listen, to take notes, and to encourage the men in your life. I'm going to come to you, Morpheus. When you hear the title Man Enough, is masculinity in crisis? What thoughts are prompted?
I get 1,000 thoughts that are prompted from that. And just to piggyback off what Andre said, it confronts that idea of identity, but not only identity, but an identity apart from, I don't think any other person, or especially Black men, I don't think anybody else is so connected. Their identity is so connected to what they do than a man, you know what I'm saying? And especially a Black man. So I feel like in the early stages of life, our masculinity is often defined by people other than men. You know what I mean? Like our masculinity, and not even people sometimes. A lot of times, like you mentioned in media, like we get these images projected in media about, especially with Black men, about what a man is. And like, okay, am I a thug? Like, am I a misogynist? Am I a whatever? And a lot of times, like Andre alluded to, we don't have the father in the home. You know what I mean? And a lot of us, because we don't have a father in the home, our definition of masculinity is then perpetuated or extended beyond media by a woman. You know what I mean? Wow. And depending on that relationship, whatever relationship that she might have had with the man that, that we're a result of, we might have a very negative view of our own value and our own identity, because that, whether it's explicit or not, that energy of, okay, I'm mad at your father, or you look like your father, or, that bitterness, you know what I'm saying, that a lot of women end up with, that energy passes through and transfers to so many young men and women. And you think about that, it's not just the sons, it's the daughters. Then they grow up too, not really being able to place the value of a man. You know what I'm saying? So even we go to school and, we are searching for value there. We're not expected to be smart. All we expected to be is athletic, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, what kind of shoes you're like, again, what can you do? And so once you, and a lot of men don't, and a lot of Black men don't survive either physically or spiritually to this point. But if you're fortunate enough to do the work, as a man, and make it to a point in your life, whatever age it might be. For me, it was in my 30s. I woke up at 32 and was like, I don't know who I am, but I know I'm more than this, more than what I do. And so then you start to explore, like, I'm more than my paycheck. I'm more than, what does a father mean? Is a father just a paycheck, or is a father like all the hugs and kisses and direction and all that type of stuff like that? What is a husband? What is a boyfriend? Is a boyfriend just, dates and, again, stuff tied to money? Or is it my ability to be able to lead and teach and affection and all those things? And once you start to discover those definitions, it's like, okay, now I have to find a place to add those things to myself if I'm missing them. And then where do I do that? So I don't want to take up my time, but like I said, there's so many thoughts that come to my mind.
That's good though.
Yeah,
that's so good.
Yeah.
Wow. And Jared, I'm gonna come to you, but I wanna comment on how aligned both of your responses were, at least from me as a woman hearing what you say, but you said them so differently, but the message was clear. And so, wow, we have a lot of work to do, and we're going to tackle a lot of that. But Jared, I want to come to you. Man enough, is masculinity in crisis?
You know what? They knocked it out the park. Uh, like me and Andres have these conversations for hours and hours. But
Mhm.
Morpheus said something that applied to my life, like waking up 32. It's like I'm more than this, you know. What else? What is it? You know. Um, I remember I met my biological father at like 26, and that's when life just started to kind of pick up for me, you know. And
Mm.
being in places like DC where everybody asks you, what do you do, and that's when the respect comes, you know. So it's like you're constantly searching for these titles and other things to add to yourself, you know, to hopefully fill these other voids, you know, and
Wow.
finally earn some respect and money and all these other things. But masculinity for a lot of us has never been defined, and that's the first
Mm.
problem. We don't even know what we're searching for. We don't know what goes to. We don't know what checkpoints to hit to finally, you know, at least feel like it. And that's what
Mhm.
Drake to Drake's point is like having that man that you respect, the community respects, like validate you in those ways.
Mhm.
Having a lady to say, "Babe, I see you. I
Mhm.
see you. You're killing it. You're doing well." Those
Mhm.
type of things for men will have him standing upright and fighting and providing harder. Like, you know, just trying. You will then get the man that you're absolutely looking for. Once I know for me, once you start to affirm him in those ways. But yeah, they killed it.
Mhm.
They killed it.
Y'all all killed it, and I'm over here taking notes because I don't want to miss out on some of my follow-up questions that I have. But I want to kind of park here just for a minute, even though this is actually the title of the show. I have other topics, but I feel the need to kind of sit in this for just a moment. When you say, all of you have said and alluded to, there is no definition of masculinity, are you referring to men in general, or for Black men, there has been no defined space for you to kind of adopt that masculinity or be able to identify it? And I'm not sure if I'm posing my question correctly, but I'm trying to understand, do you feel like this is something that you see across the board for men, or is it really just the plight of Black men?
I can
And
only speak
I'll
for
come back to you, Jared. Go ahead.
me.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I can only speak for Black men. I think what we know is sometimes like our grandfathers, and these men respect because they worked hard and provided for the family, and it kind of stops
Mm-hmm.
there.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I'm more than just a money machine, you know, paying the bill, paying
That
the
part.
bills, you know, and paying for dates and
Wow.
sacrificing so much for my family. That's something that we're wired to do, but it's more to it than that. And it always seems like the finish line is always moved, you know,
Mm-hmm.
back when you think you figured it out. Um, so that's my little 2 cents.
Wow. Wow. That's good. And so I want to kind of transition into my first my first topic. That was just the title. But I want to transition into that. Where are all the men? And the reason I want to ask that is for so many reasons, right? I'm addressing, fatherlessness. I'm talking about, single women, how we, many of us struggle to find partners. I want to talk about, men showing up in Black men in particular, showing up in spaces in corporate America, like you said, other than being an athlete, where else are we showing up? And the reason I wanted to talk about that is because I was reading an article. Y'all know I'm always reading something, and he was talking about how a patriarchal system in society is affecting Black men in particular. And he said this one part that I really want to talk about. He says, due to rapid social, economic, and political change, many aspects of the traditional male sex role have been rendered increasingly dysfunctional and obsolete. This has led to a period of, like, just the word he uses is, like, I think it's extreme, but he uses debilitation in traditional gender roles and relationships. I want to talk about that from a perspective of women and how we view you, how we view Black men. As you said, it's automatic. We want you to provide. We want you to pay for the dates. We feel like you should show up and step in as a stepdad. You should step up and be our, our safety net, our safe place. And we saw that with the whole Will Smith Jada thing, which I'm not spending any energy or time on, but I'm just using that as a reference point, right? How does that make you feel when you hear women say things like, well, where are all the men? And I'm doing better financially, so I don't even need a man. Like, how does that make you feel? I'll come to you first, Andre, and then to you, Morpheus.
Okay, two sides to that. I was being patient because I wanted to tap into the last part. But
so go back to that. No, feel free. Go ahead to that and then come back. Yeah.
And I definitely want to give the women a perspective of from a different viewpoint than what we know. And I can take it all the way back to the 1900s on the slavery and how we were demasculized by our objectivity, which is our manhood. And that what gave us power, whether it was our strength, our broadness, our color, but more important, that dick. And I use that term very, very harsh because I want
we grown.
What it is. And so as we go through and we grow, and we go back to the 1930s where we start to build up the family foundation and we start to come into ourselves, we start to see that, we were better than this. We were thinkers, we were creators, but somehow society came in and hit that with, if you could want to say, welfare and just things that just kind of kept us down. And so through that period, we looked for definition, but the only thing society gave us was, a black man is good for this masculine, this tangible thing. We weren't thinkers. We weren't educators. We didn't have a good portfolio. And so that idea, it passed on through generation after generation. And even when I look at myself as a man and as I've grown up, and this is why I came to this conclusion of how do I define myself? Well, you know what? I don't come from money. You know what? I'm not the smartest guy in the class just because of my surroundings and the education that was given to me. But you know what? I had some looks about me, but know what more so? I had this dick. And that mindset, that concept, and this is what the world gives us. And so women want to give you is to show you that when we look at our community and why there's so many fatherless homes and why black men aren't really willing to commit to a black woman. And I'm speaking about our community specifically, not any other community, because I can't say. And so when we separation, it's the mindset that's given to us. When I was coming up, again, I didn't know how to please a woman. So my mindset was, how do I find a woman to please? Because you know what? I may not have the money, I may not have the education, but you know what? I can give her some good dick, right? Or you know what? Just because your portfolio is better than mine, or you got that family, but you know what? I can come into your family and know you may have the money, but you can't give your wife what I can give her. And I can give this dick. And that mindset, that concept is as hurtful as it is integrated within us and we don't even know. Like we go through women to prove to ourselves that we're good enough by sleeping with them. And they look at it as, no, we're just cheating. A lot of times we're just on this path of discovery, trying to find ourselves, but we're so
that I'm actually speechless from that.
I understand why women say that, because me and Jared knows me, like, I think I'm just an average dude. But you know what? Because there's so many horrible dudes out there, they make me look above average. And I ain't doing nothing. I'm just doing what I think what God wanted me to do on this earth, just to live a little good life and try to change the world for the better. So I believe that there are, but there also, I think with women, I don't want to say you got to be a little more patient, because that's a whole nother story. Because some of us, man, a lot of us, we're stupid, we're trash. And I'm not demeaning us. I'm just saying the fact that we do stupid things and we know better, but yet we still choose to do the wrong thing. So when it comes to the point of the lack of men out there, I think as we become more awakened, whatever that word is people want to use, we become more aware of ourselves, and we have individuals like Morpheus and Jared to lean on and build that brotherhood and bond. We are out there, but what are you giving to us to cultivate that? I believe the woman is for help and support. We're supposed to have the vision. We should have the vision. We need to have the vision to guide the family to the next step.
Right.
But a woman, are you there to build your own table? I don't need you to build a table, but I know what you can help me make it look pretty. You can help me dress it up. You can help me put things on it that I know I can't do to make this table last longer than what I have already given.
I'm legit speechless. Like seriously, like speechless because as a woman, I always assumed it was us that used our bodies for the love and the attention and self-discovery and self-awareness and finding ourselves. And to know that men are going through the same thing, like I'm gonna come to you, Morpheus, and then to Jared. Like again, I'm speechless. So please just feel free to address where are all the men.
Yeah, I'm gonna tie in them questions too, but I'm gonna start out by if that question is being asked by Black women, I would answer that question with a question and say, okay, where are all the men? My question to you in return would be, would you know one if you saw one? Because the going back to what you saw, that's really the dilemma for all of us as Black men, right? And that the segment right before this one, you said, do we as Black men feel like it's clearly defined, the masculinity? We get a definition of it. It's just that in us trying to apply that definition, there's something within us that is screaming out that there's more, right? And so it probably is, it doesn't probably, it goes back to those deeper systemic roots of slavery. Like I always talk about, because women love bringing up the whole thing about subjection, right? And headship. We love having that conversation in our community. And what all headship means is that I go first, right? And when it comes to the language of when it comes to the subject of being objectified, Black men were the first to be objectified, because when Andre talked about slavery and he talked about, again, what was slavery? Our value was based on, again, what we can do, right? And when he referred to, you know what I'm saying, his dick, his penis, he called it first what? His manhood.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the first definition that we have of our value is our manhood. And again, what that was more valuable to slave owners, you know what I'm saying? Because okay, can he produce? Because what does that mean for the plantation? That means we have more workers, you know what I mean? But that has, in different ways, through the welfare system, through the criminal justice system, and through social media, through media, through all of these different, that stereotype and that definition has been perpetuated. And the reason women end up asking that question is because it's like, okay, this is supposed to be a man. Based on my definition of what I heard, this man is going to come in, he's gonna have a big dick, you know, he's gonna pay my bills, he's gonna take care of me. Where is he? So my answer to that question is, he doesn't exist. You tell us when you find them so we can find our fathers. You know what I'm saying? So we have the same question, and it really is going to it's really going to require for a lot of women to really take a look in the mirror. And again, hurt people. So one of the biggest, you know, convictions that we've had as Black men as being misogynistic. Well, that's a learned behavior that we passed down to our women, which is now being passed back down to us. Like, your value is physical. Your value is what you can do for me on a very surface level. And then even when they get that, they get the same sensation that we get. And it's like, it feels like there's something more, right? And to a man that has bought into that definition, it's like, what else do you want from me? I'm giving you my manhood, you know what I'm saying? Or I'm paying your bills. So what else do you want? And what it is that you want those other aspects of not just a man, but a human being. You want the emotional connection. You want the companionship connection. You want, you know what I'm saying, the leadership, you know, capability. But in order for a man to develop those things, he would have to put energy in those areas. And who's teaching young men to put energy in those areas?
That part.
And the thing about it is, that's going right back to the mirror, because who's raising most of our young men? women.
Black women. That
So,
part.
so when you ask, where are all the men? I would start in the mirror.
That is so good. All right, Jared, I'm gonna come to you, and then I gotta jump in these comments because they popping over here. So, Jared, please comment on that. Where are all the men?
Dre and Morpheus are really tough acts to follow.
I'm gonna come to you first next time.
Cause I'm like, I gotta find something to do. I need an excuse because I ain't got it. Those some really that's really good feedback.
Yeah.
I can't comment on that because they said it all and they were far more eloquent in the delivery than I could ever be. That was so straight to the point. I like how Morpheus, like, he asked, like, okay, would you even recognize the man if he was in your face,
Right.
you know? So yeah, that's a hell of a question to even pose. And Dre is right, and it's like there's grown ass men right now who still think like that. You know, it's like leading with sex, and it's like, well, shoot, you want a dude a big dick and some money to pay the bills, but now it's this, now it's that. So you're actually scratching beyond the surface of actually what you want. You know, sometimes I think on both ends it's hard to articulate that. Yeah, I want a man that's emotionally available, and even with that, for us as masculine men, we're taught not to even be that. Like from kids, you can't even scrape your daggum knee without, like, nah, it ain't no crying. And it starts it starts there. And so from very early on, we're tapped out emotionally, whole time. Ladies, yes, you do. You want somebody with a little soft side to receive you on a long day. To teach your son, to receive your daughter and not reject them, in the early years, or not fold, when things get hot in a relationship. So yeah, we're out here. We don't have the guidance, and I wish more men could say, "Look, I don't have it," and connect ourselves to platforms like this. I'm so grateful to have a fraternity of men, and it's a standard to do well. It's a standard to be great, and I don't know if I never saw that, I don't know what type of man I'd be. So the resources are out there, but they're not enough to reach the demographic and the mass waves that we need to really cultivate and redirect our thinking.
Wow, that's so good, and you certainly did add more than you thought you were going to. That was fantastic. So I want to just jump in the comments quickly, and then we'll move on to the next topic. But a lot of love in here for y'all, fellas. I wish I could show you all the comments, but I'm gonna just get through them. Melly Mel says, so y'all came to teach tonight. Okay, I'm here for it. I know that's right, sis. Colleen says, I feel that the mental health of some men is in critical condition because when they do cry out for help and show vulnerability, they are told to man up or stop being soft by other men, even women. Stop.
Colleen,
Agree, sis.
Miss Colleen, you said that is what I'm talking about right there. That. And I think I don't think a lot of women understand y'all's words are so meaningful to us.
Yeah.
When we're in a relationship, obviously we're in a place emotionally where we're welcoming this woman. But you can really speak life into this man and pick this brother up like that. And so when you double down on man up, once again, that's an aimless direction for us, you get more of what you actually don't want, so you can be destroying a man when you don't know how to receive him in a emotionally vulnerable state. So yeah, that is and that not one curse word was mentioned, but the two words man up are just as destructive.
Agreed. Wow.
I feel
Go ahead,
like
Morpheus.
I feel like that word that she used is key. That word vulnerability. You know what I'm saying? Because the thing about masculinity is that it only exists in the presence of the inverse. It only exists in the presence of femininity. Otherwise, it's a hyper. Like otherwise, all you have is a organ. Masculinity is a suggestion that femininity is present. We all have both inside of us. You know what I'm saying? It's just that as men, a lot of times we don't get the balance as far as an example goes, you know. So we get the ideas of masculinity pushed onto us by a bunch of external superficial stuff, and we never really get to be vulnerable, you know what I mean? And it sounds odd, but I'm finding in my journey over the last 4 or 5 years that me understanding the feminine aspect of myself. Feminine mean, and that's almost like a curse word to a man, right? Like femininity, but we don't have no problems talking about women's independence and her masculinity. That's celebrated. But when we talk about, you know, a man being vulnerable and being feminine, that's like it hurts me to be able to say it, because you don't want nobody questioning you, right? Because you go through your whole life trying to show people that you're a man, which nobody knows what that is. One of my favorite, I say this to Timo all the time, one of my favorite quotes is that when you give something a name, you create the illusion that you know what it is. You know what I'm saying? And we've created this illusion around masculinity that is this, and this. And no matter how much experience and time shows us that ain't it, we keep going with it and keep wondering why we are having such trouble in our homes, why we having such trouble, you know what I'm saying, navigating the criminal justice system, why we're having such trouble in our finances, but we keep going with that definition. And that's not it. We have to be able to be, as men, vulnerable with somebody. And when you hear those stories, and I thought that was really key what Jared said earlier about sometimes your masculinity is defined by a woman, like watching Kanye West, you know what I'm saying? And his Netflix documentary, it was so divine. It was so like obvious, the connection that he had with his mother and how she really poured into him as a young man, you know what I mean? And what that created, you know. But a lot of times, you know, that first connection, if you're fortunate enough to have a solid connection with a woman that really understands her role and doesn't try to do any more or any less than that, we can really see what that can do for a man. But, you know, and we hear stories too of, you know, the guy who did the Black Panther, you know, he directed Black Panther. He was circulating on the internet not too long ago about how his woman stuck with him when he was down, you know what I'm saying, financially. And what that's more than just, okay, you're not paying the bills, I'm paying for you. That's showing that I believe in you. I see your value, even though I haven't been able to cash in on it yet. And how he honors her and loves her. I was watching something on Steve Harvey on the EYL network, and him talking about his relationship with Marjorie. And when he was down, he was going through a divorce. He was down to his last $1,000. And this was after Kings of Comedy and everything, how she spoke life into him in his moment of vulnerability. He was okay to be vulnerable. He was okay to tap into that feminine side. And then when it was time for him to be a man and circumstances allowed for him to be a man, he wasn't going to be a man for nobody else but that woman. And women need to understand that you can't come in asking for the whole table. You know what I'm saying? And nothing, and not really offering much in return. Yeah.
Those facts. Andre, you look like you are itching. I want to come to you, give you a chance to say something and add to what your brothers have already said. Go ahead.
So I'm thinking about being the devil's advocate with this question, because we talk about masculinity and we talk about vulnerability, but transparency for me, the most successful, whether it be relationships or situations that I've received, is the successful ones is because of the security that I provide for women. When you're in my home, when you're in my presence, when we walk out, it doesn't matter. Just because the way I act and move as a man, my masculinity, a woman feels so secure and protected. And that feeling, that's like one of the key things that women look for when it comes to this masculinity as a man. And so my question to the group and the women out there is that, how do we differentiate or find balance between this vulnerability word and this security word? Because you, the women, you project it. And I love to give it because I am a provider. I am a securer. I will fight for you. I will kill for you. But I was looking at a Kevin Samuels, one of his questions, and he told a man that don't you ever be vulnerable to your woman, because she's going to look at you sideways. You keep that for your mama or you keep that for your boys. And so I had to sit back and ask the question, like, how true is it? It's easy for us to cast it off, but there's some value in what he said. And so as men, can we really truly feel that we can be just vulnerable and just transparent and open with our women, where they won't use that to come back and castrate us?
There you go.
I
spoke to a woman and I gave her my softer side. I was like, yo, this is what I'm dealing with, whatever, woo, woo, woo. And the minute that the situation wasn't going her way, then she chose to pull that out and stab me with it, or try to. And it's like, wow, maybe I can't be as open and vulnerable, because now, and the thing with women is that, understand our strength, we're physically strong. Like, not many people on this broadcast can bench more than I can. I know that.
Wait, but what?
Also know,
come on, dog.
I also know that
let him know.
His name Morpheus, man. He can do a lot of stuff, man.
Dre's like, I got that on lock. Y'all look good.
But I also know that with women, their emotional intelligence is so high that I can't, and most men, we can't compete with that. So yeah, we may be physically more stronger, but you guys are intelligently and more emotionally stronger than we are. And that's where I see the balance at. So the question is, how do we find the balance with the two? But because it can definitely be confusing. And definitely with you guys having such a high level of emotional intelligence, for you to do that to us, if you do that to a man, you break his heart, we're done. Right. That's why we become dogs, and we become heartless, because it's very hard to recover from when we give our all and somebody come back and get it. Especially as a black man society, we deal with this every single day, trying to prove ourselves, not just to the world, not just to the white man, not just to society, but when we have to prove it to our women. That's where most.
Wow, that's so good. And Morpheus had something to add to that, and then I'm gonna head to the comments. But go ahead, Morpheus. You had something to say.
I just wanted to say those words of security and transparency, those are all synonymous with what I mean when I say vulnerability. You know what I'm saying? Because it should be everything in a relationship. A relationship is supposed to create balance, right? Which means that everything I'm capable of doing, you should be capable of doing too. Just the intensity and level of degree might be different, but there should be nothing that I'm able to do or willing to do that you're not able and willing to do. And when you hear about, a lot of times when you hear about somebody cheating or whatever, it's like, oh, okay, well, how did you do that? It became an affair because that man felt safe talking to that woman, because in the situation that he was in, in the situation he was in, he became an object. Like, is this check done? I don't care nothing about that your back hurt or you miss your mama or none of that. You know what I'm saying? Is this rent paid? Is this and that, whatever? You got something to say. And then there's somebody at work or somebody at the bar or somebody, whatever, that, and they might not even be genuine, you know what I'm saying? But they come across and ask that man a question instead of giving him a task. You know what I'm saying? And then that shows right there a man's need for security. We like that too. We like security too. You know what I'm saying? We like, because the security for us looks different from yours. Your security is, okay, my man, you know what I'm saying, is strong. He's this and that. And so I'm protected physically. But we want to know that if we have a bad season financially, that all bets aren't off and you're not going and look, that's our security. That you still see my
Come
value,
on, dog.
That you still see my value, even though, just like you want to know that after I have these kids and I gain 30 pounds, are you still going to love me the same way? So I want to know, after we have these kids and we buy this house and COVID hits, are you going to still love me the same way? You
that part.
So and when he talked about the emotional intelligence part, women are more emotional, but I believe that a man in his full essence goes first in everything. That means I'm able to lead you spiritually. I'm able to lead you emotionally. I'm able to lead you financially. I'm able to lead you physically. Very few of us make it to that point. You know what I'm saying? But that's what a man is. So, because again, going back to the emotional intelligence thing, when we hear about the dynamics between a husband and wife, it's always credited to the husband to what? Understand. You know what I'm saying? What the wife is going through. Oh, okay, just give her a minute, whatever. That's the emotional intelligence part. The emotional part is me being able to step back and look at you, and you have A, B, and C going on, and that's now blocked your view from you being rational in this moment. The intelligence part is I understand what's going on. Now is not the time, and I give you what you need in that moment. But in order for a man to make it that way again, he has to have energy put in those other places. And a lot of men already from the start, you know, because you're raised by single mothers, you don't want nothing to happen to your baby or whatever. So you tell him he a punk if he cry and all this type of stuff like that. From infancy, we are taught to shut all the other parts of us off. You know what I mean? And as emotionally, spiritually, or whatever, and we're just told to focus on what we can do. And then at some point, that's going to run out for every man, and every man reacts differently. Sometimes it's just like you become Future, or sometimes, you know, you become, you know what I'm saying, you go to jail, whatever, you know what I mean? Or sometimes you become just a hermit, you know what I'm saying? Because nobody's hearing you, you know, but everybody wants something from you. And when a woman understands that, that's when she's in a position to be able to bring the best out of a man. And when a man understands that about himself, that's at the point where he understands his own value.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Drop the mic.
Preach.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, Jared.
Just to my little contribution to this. Yeah. The bottom line is there's certain things you don't want to outsource. You know, ladies, you don't want
that's good. That's so good.
You don't want your guy to find a soft, cozy spot to you know, I don't want to use the word vent, but like let go. You don't want him to fall into the hands of another woman like that. Fellas, you don't want the guy in the break room to be more protective and notice the things about your lady. My last job, I saw a dude, you know, he was going off a little container of chicken and rice. It took chicken and rice for this man he was going after that, you know. Wow. So there's certain things you don't want to outsource to people outside of your relationship, because it's not hard to be in a sticky situation after that. So ladies, listen to your dude, you know, fellas, protect those ladies. Because once it's outside of that, man, it's really tough to rebound.
That is so good. Oh man, my gosh.
I was just gonna say that was a bar, Jay. Outsource. That's it right there.
That was a bar, Jay. Yeah. Like seriously.
I worked on it.
Look, the show is moving so fast. I really do want to come to the comments. I love y'all. I'm so glad y'all are here, but we just do not have time yet. So I'm gonna move to the next topic, because I want y'all to at least touch on you know, man versus media, and the role that, you know, media is playing in emasculating Black men and men of color. So I just want to talk about that really quickly. You know, someone alluded to that in the comments, and I was already going to talk about this whole, you know, Russell Wilson versus Future, like this subliminal feud that's been going on for months, for years, honestly. But for some reason it's resurfaced, and some girl posted a picture of Ciara and her family, and, you know, Russell Wilson and his family rather. And it said, if this is what, what is it? Is this what not a coward? What did she call him? Something alluded to him being a cornball. This is what a cornball looks like. I want in, or something like that. And it's just, again, that is what we perpetuate. That's what goes viral. And I want to talk about how media plays a role in emasculating our men and really causing women to do the same, you know, unconsciously, how we are then following the trends in media and emasculating our men. Because I don't see where he's a cornball in any way. You know, so I'll first come to you, Jared, because that way you guys
appreciate it. Cool. Boy, I'm gonna get my behind whooped off.
Jay, let me give you the mic first, and then I'll come to you, Andre and Morpheus. But go ahead, Jared.
I think that it actually shows what we've been taught. I don't know Future, I don't know Russell Wilson, but Russell Wilson definitely comes off as a very well-rounded and respectable man that can fit in any room. And I can tell you this. I remember being in college, and you have college educated women, looking past college educated dudes and looking at street dudes. Now, it's some street guys that can handle their business, but the direction they're going is nowhere fast. And so for a period of time, a lot of women had the option. Like, you have this college educated guy in your face, but what you chose. And so we as guys, we're stupid. I know some guys that jump off into the streets just to be seen by the ladies. You fool.
Wow.
You are foolish. And so a lot of guys who aren't really sure about who they are and where they're going, they'll make life adjustments to try to fit. And so as far as media, yeah, we're seen as aggressive. We've championed this thug street dude type energy, and then we everything we've I guess that everything that we tie ourselves to, it's kind of based off aggression, being aggressive. And so it's kind of crazy to me. We look at someone like Russell Wilson, he gets the cornball title. He's a present father.
Right.
Like, he's a partner in franchise with his wife. Like, how was that guy ever a cornball?
That part.
And he's a football player.
Like, right. Even being more specific, the position he plays, he's a forward thinker. He's a commander. Like, how are we missing all these other attributes?
Right.
And label him a cornball. So I think that on both sides, we have a lot of redefining to do. Like I said, I don't know Future personally, but I can say a guy that has a grip of, baby mothers and kids all over the place is not a great start to relating as a man relating to and want to identify as such. It's not a great start at all.
Right. That's so good. No, you're absolutely right. And I'll deal with the women on our choice, because I love how you said we have options. That's so good, because we never want to admit that we chose the one that we chose. We always want to say, well, that's all that's out here, and I can't find a good man. No. You can't see a good man because you had a choice. You look past him and you chose old faithful with 12 baby mamas. So come to you, Andre. Go ahead, jump in. Man versus media. How does media play a role in emasculating men of color?
So it's interesting that we speak on the Sierra topic, because earlier I was driving today and I was thinking about Sierra and Russell Wilson for whatever reason. I don't know, but maybe it's the reason for this conversation right here.
That's what it was.
When you go through Sierra's history and you look at some of the men that she's been with, when we talk about Bow Wow, when we talk about 50 Cent, and do we talk about one of her songs, "Oh, I Can't Leave Him Alone, I Tried That, but and a Dope Boy's Turning Me On." And so that was her beginning. And now when I look at interviews with her and Russell Wilson, again, like Jared said, we don't know these individuals by any means.
Right.
I can speculate. So then I have to ask myself, is she really truly happy? You know what I mean? Like we say that Russell Wilson is this good guy, but it's something about Future and 50 Cent that tantalizes a woman, and it just makes and touches her in the right way, that I just need that thug. And you try to find this balance between, this hard, I kill, whatever the case may be. I like to live life on the edge, but you know what? I'm still going to respect you and love you.
Wow.
And get out of here.
Wow.
So then I asked myself, is really truly Sierra really truly happy? I remember one time I was in the club, and it's not too often that I go into the club. Me and my homeboy, we dress to impress, whatever the case may be. We in there. I know how to dress. I know how to present myself. And as I'm in there, I see this young lady. My homeboy approaches her. She turns him down, whatever. I said, okay, cool. I go up to her. Maybe light skin wasn't her fact. Maybe chocolate is. You know what I mean? So maybe that's what's going to get him, you know? I approach her. She look at me like, I'm like, what? Okay, you know what? We got it. Boom. We stand back and we watch. We some dude come up with some baggy pants. You could tell it's been not washed for like 30, 40 days. You know what I'm saying? Because it's still hard. You know what I mean? He got Reeboks on and his socks is showing. And I'm like, man, like I know you got dirty drawers on. And like he just bopping in her face. And she was just like, ha, ha, ha. And we was like, yo, like I know, even if you don't know my account, I may look like I got money. That may be a little bit crazy. I may look like a little bit, but no, it's not enough. So on our way outside the club, we was frustrated because we was like, yo, whatever.
I'm done with him.
Never talked to women from the club, but this is just one story. And so we pulled just one random chick aside and we asked her, she's like, yo, like we told her a story, whatever. And she said, yo, you and your homeboy look like y'all gay. And I'm like, what? Like, ain't nothing gay about us. Like, just because I wear at my waist with a belt on, and you know what I'm saying, that fit, and I look like I'm something. But that's what the energy that was given to us. And I think that energy is broadcast out on so many ways that this is the idea of what is attractive. And we take that. And so when we see Russell Wilson, or when we see Jared, or when we see a Morpheus, it's like, know what? It's something strange about them. They're a little bit weird. I don't know why they walked away. They gotta be gay. But instead of women taking the time to get to know us and pushing out whatever society presses upon us, give us a chance. Because whatever you're doing, it ain't work. So maybe we need to switch up what you think is normal or what you think is my type, because your type hasn't been for you since forever and a day.
Oh, you better come on, get us together.
So insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results.
I think
society presents to us. They make us change.
Right, quick, Dre. To your point,
that's so good.
I think women can be intimidated too. We hear a lot about, if you're intimidated of, me being degreed or whatever, just say that. And it's like, no, it's not that. I think women can be intimidated of a squared away, well dressed, well put together man too. And it's like, well, I don't know if he looked like he might, and they choose different.
You gotta step it up. Yeah.
Good point. Right. You're right. That you said that as well. Like y'all intimidate us. I forgot to add that to the story.
See, it wasn't even me that was there.
But in the same situation a couple of times though.
Listen, but let me just clarify something. When he said y'all, it's something weird about Jared and Andre and Morpheus. The only thing weird about Morpheus is his crazy girlfriend. So y'all don't have to try him. Don't give him a try. You'll get cut. All right. Moving right on. I do want to tackle this last topic while we have a few minutes left. We are going to go over. Are y'all all right with that? Y'all going to stick it out with me? Let's just go over just a little bit. Yeah. I think this is a really important one. I probably should have made this one first, honestly. But I want to talk a little bit about black male masculinity, forgive the typo, and mental health, and how often mental health is mistaken for, toxic masculinity. And I'm really tired of seeing that in media. I'm tired of seeing that coming out of Black women's mouths. We are so quick to call a man toxic or say he's dealing with toxic masculinity when really he's just dealing with pain, or he's just dealing with, tired of your drama and your mess. And this is where I really feel the most for Kanye, in terms of, how quickly the Black community has called him crazy and say all these things because he's simply fighting for his family. And then if he weren't, we'd be calling him trifling. And so help me, fellas, to kind of tackle that about why women in particular. I really want to deal with us Black women, because y'all know I'm big on accountability and dealing with us. Why do we often label a man with, toxic masculinity when really it's mental health, or it's just a challenge that he's having? So I'm gonna come to you first, Morpheus, and then I'm gonna go to Jared.
There's a lot to that one, again, it all starts back at the definition of us being stuck on that definition of what a man is, and that definition, and unfortunately for Black men, being tied to just being a machine. Tank has this song called Value, right? Where he says, something along the lines of, I just want you to see me for the man I can be. I'm not a machine. I'm just a human being. You know what I mean? And so a lot of times, when men get into relationships, especially going back like to the Kim and Kanye thing and some experiences that I've had, and I don't even got to know y'all story, Jared and Andre, to know that y'all had the same things. Sometimes because there's such a cloudy definition of masculinity and what we're supposed to, expect as men, we don't go into relationships with any kind of standard. We know what's expected of us, but we don't know what to ask for in return. You know what I'm saying? Wow. So that's like somebody going, you get this $100 bill, right? And you go to the store and get some eggs, but nobody tells you math or an arithmetic and how much change you're supposed to get. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, this like that song is called Value. You know what I'm saying? And once you get hip to that, a lot of times you get to a point where you say, no, that's not worth what I'm giving you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? And now I'm crazy. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's as simple as that, to where you get to the point where you know what? Like, I'm giving you, protection. I'm giving you guidance. I'm raising kids. I'm paying bills, and I'm getting vagina.
Come on, Morpheus. Come on, cuz.
Right? You know what I'm saying? Like one vagina. You know what I'm saying? And that's like, I'm turning down vagina. You know what I'm saying? Like, for this one, in exchange for that, like, this is not adding up. And then you get to a point where you like, you know what? No. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I'm not doing that. I don't care what. Now I'm a toxic man because I don't fit in your definition of, you're supposed to be a machine for me. You're supposed to produce. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to produce and be quiet. But then when I get to a point where I know my value, I'm bringing you $100 bill, I'm gonna need my change. You know what I'm saying? Now
I'm about to throw my
phone. I'm crazy, right? Now I'm toxic. Now I'm a narcissist. You can keep all of that, but it's how many Russell Wilsons we done seen? It's been 400 years of existence of Black people, and this is the one nigga we keep talking about, you know what I'm saying? With $100 bill. So if I go out here and make it too, I like my chances, you know what I'm saying? Like, but then that's toxic, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
But and I feel like Kanye and the whole, because it's not just women doing it to us, we do it to each other. And I feel like the whole thing with Kanye is a big part of that, because you got DL Hughley and Charlemagne. DL Hughley is one of the, his lane has switched onto a lot about like Black power. You know what I'm saying? About the empowerment of Black people, which is dope. Yeah. But now in this, it's like a textbook situation where we have a Black man that is fighting for his children from a woman that's a bird. Kim Kardashian is a bird. She's been a bird. She's a $1 billion bird. You know what I'm saying? Like, and instead of defending our brother, we attack him. You know what I'm saying? And for DL Hughley was on, I think he was on Vlad and going about like, yeah, he's stalking her. If that was my daughter, I would do this and that, whatever, and hinting to police. But you the same one that, when Philando Castile and, you know what I'm saying, Trayvon Martin, all of these interactions that we've had with, Black men and police, now all of a sudden we have this textbook thing where so many Black men in America are assumed to be the inferior parent, you know what I mean? Because woman, I guess, you know what I'm saying? And the first thing that you identify with is this white woman. And you see her as your daughter, but you can't see this Black man as your son.
As your son. Ooh, go there.
So and Charlemagne too, with the whole mental health thing and everything. Oh, I'm sending him like, no, like if I love my children, just like if you take a Black woman's children from them, you know what I mean, or they're going through a divorce and you're taking things from them that don't belong to you. Kanye West has made a major contribution to culture, period, but especially Black culture. This man changed the rap game. You know what I'm saying? Before he entered himself into the Kardashian lane, they was on their way out. People forget that she was dealing with cats that was on the bench that we didn't even know of on an expansion team. Now, not just her, but other people in her family are billionaires. You know what I'm saying? And she's if you get money from your sexual advances, what do we call that? We call it a boss piece now, but 30 years ago, it would have had a different definition. So
that part.
Oh my God.
Billionaires, and nobody's having this Black man's back. This man lost his mother. You know what I'm saying? This man has gone through a lot of stuff. Of course, he's going to react in a way that's what he ain't going. And she's in here. We talking about Russell Wilson as if he's the only one. Kanye West is a rapper, a billionaire rapper. How many cheating scandals has Kanye West been a part of?
Right.
How many men has Kim Kardashian been attached to inside the marriage?
Right.
What do we know Kanye West for besides preaching and doing church stuff? And sometimes he say stuff out of line. But when you see Kanye West with his kids, is there a picture circulating with Future and his children? Show me a picture with Future and some kids.
Right.
He's signing autographs if he is, but we see this man constantly showing love to his children, exposing them to things. So Kanye West as a man has been the token, like as good as we can ask for as a husband, as a father. And now we have this woman who, again, on the same thing as Jada Pinkett. How have we seen this lady support this man in any extraordinary way? But when a man supports a woman in an extraordinary way, if I make you a billionaire and your mama a billionaire and your sister a billionaire because of my influence, that we don't even mention that. That entitlement is so ingrained in society when it comes for Black men. And Black men, we got to start saying no. We got to start cashing these $100 bills in and being like, you know what? I don't got to do this. And it's quietly happening under the surface because it's been statistics saying like, 80%, you know what I'm saying, of children are by like, 40% of men or something like that. You know what I mean? Like it's y'all keep complaining about these men, but you not having babies with the Russell Wilsons and the Kanyes, people that's going to stand up. Y'all having babies with the same dude. So the ones that really are high value, like your boy like to say, high value males, people that got their stuff together that can, provide on multiple levels besides, but they ain't having babies with y'all. And a lot of y'all would be single if it wasn't for child support.
Oh my God.
But ain't nobody telling y'all that. So I don't know. So it's a lot of people out there, a lot of women, and I had somebody come across my Facebook page not too long ago. If I'm paying half the bills, does that mean I have to submit to a man? No, but is it an option for you? A lot of y'all don't got the statistics to be out here objectifying men in the way that you do, because you don't want to be objectified as a woman. But when a man does that, then it's like, okay, you out of order, you wrong. But it's every day. It's just that men haven't been ingrained in them to be able to understand and value. Okay, I'm putting the mic down. Be quiet.
Right there.
My show. If the ladies don't come back, they won't be showing you. I'm gonna come to you, Andre.
Oh no,
Andre, I'm gonna come to you. Black male masculinity and mental health. Come on, don't go.
No, say something. You see what I've been going through? What can you say after that, man? Like you said you're gonna snap, bro, and you did that. Go ahead, Dre. You better find something, brother.
My bad,
Yeah.
y'all. I was holding that in. I'm sorry.
He went there.
What's the question?
So the last topic, we're talking about Black male masculinity versus mental health, and how often we mistake mental health and we call it toxic masculinity when really it's just an emotional or mental challenge that a Black man might be facing. So we just
My bad, y'all.
Derek, I truly understand now. Morpheus is like, bro, what? What are you doing, bro? Like, no,
I gotta speak for us. We not speaking.
Bro, you took us on a journey, and I was
right.
like, they're gone now.
All right.
Let me think what I can say. I don't think that term really truly exists. I think it's something somebody coined and they say, hey, that's toxic masculinity. Because is there such thing as feminine masculinity? I don't think so. If you choose to see it as toxic masculinity, that means I believe you have some ignorance about you where you can't really truly identify what masculinity is. And what's the second part of the question? Because I'm deaf, like Morpheus, you really killed it, bro. Like,
yeah,
my bad, bro.
So pretty much, I just wanted you to address how women, in particular, you know, how we often will label a man as a toxic man when really it's just an emotional or mental thing that he's dealing with, or like Morpheus said, or maybe he just recognizes his value, and you know, sex is not enough to keep him no more, and so now you in your feelings because you know he's decided to pursue something worth having, and now you're calling him toxic.
I think that it goes back to a level of ignorance on said individual, meaning that, and they said it earlier, and even in some sessions that I have with women, I ask them all the time because we go through whatever struggles that they have with their relationships and trying to find that value man, whatever the case may be. And I asked them, I said, sis, so out of everything that you require, let's just say the most amazing person was sitting in front of you right now talking to you, and they had everything that you require to have success in the relationship. And meaning that this individual, no matter what it was, you would have the most amazing, successful relationship there is. My question to the woman would be, are you ready for that? Will you be in a position where you're enough and you bring enough to the table where you want to sabotage that relationship based on what you bring? And I can probably almost every single one said, no, I'm not ready for that man. But yet, for whatever reason, all of us desire that. And even me as a man myself, when I see that woman who I see as my wife, am I in a mature position? Am I aligned with God enough to understand that this woman is really truly for me? And I think too often we want the fruit, but we're not willing to go through the process of sowing the seeds and mowing and planting it to receive the harvest that's there. And so I think for me, a lot of times it's based on ignorance and what we think those love stories are, and we try to create it, but we're not ready to handle all that comes with it. The maturity, the emotional, the financial aspect. Like, is your garden ready to be tilled? And for me, I don't think a lot of individuals are ready for it.
Wow, that's good. That is good. Jared, I'm going to come to you, and then we're going to go into our final thought.
Oh, no. I mean, final thoughts. You know,
well, awesome. All right, so on the Hustle and Shine podcast, we do have something called Here's a Gem, and it is an opportunity for you to give a final thought to our hustlers, our shiners, and our gems and gents. It does not have to be relevant to the show. It doesn't have to be, you know, anything on topic. It can literally just be anything you want to leave with them to edify and inspire and encourage them. So I'm going to start with you, Jared, since you did not comment on the last topic.
Okay. I'll say this. I got a few things from my last therapy session, but my therapist told me, Jared, you can use a GPS to get everywhere in the city, but except for mapping out your life. Map it out. Know what the journey looks like. You know, it's okay to write down, you know, the direction of travel, where you're going and where you want to be. Map it out, how else are you going to know where to go? Also, as men, for the ladies, as men, be super receptive and sensitive to the presence of a man who's walking in his purpose. That's the man that you can definitely attach yourself to. A man that's given himself a vision and mission for how he's going to live his life, and ultimately how he's going to protect and raise his family. And once you have a man that can speak to things like that, then that's easy for you to attach yourself to, and follow a brother like that. What's up, bro?
That's good. Thank you. Andre, I'm gonna come to you. Any final thoughts? Can you leave our listeners with a gem?
Definitely. So my saying with perfect imperfection is live life to find heaven within yourself, within your God. And it shows you how that we all live off of purpose. And whether it be a reason, season, or a lifetime, every single individual that come into your life, they're there for a reason. And so, yeah, you may think that you found your husband or not. The question is, look for their purpose. God sent them into your life for a reason.
Yeah.
And so start to understand the purpose of the individual. Then you know whether they can misuse you or not. And that misuse tends to lead to abuse if you're not used properly. So find purpose and a reason for that individual coming into your life. Again, whether it be a reason, season, or lifetime. And the second thing I want to leave with people is that the most important person that you can find in your life, and we use this term so loosely, and it's always frustrating for me, is a friend. A friend is something that's greater than a mother, a brother, a sister, a husband, because a friend is tied into pushing you greater towards your purpose. A friend, and this is biblical as well. If you can look it up as well. A friend is tied to you aligning yourself to what God has for you. And what God has for you is always greater than what you want for yourself. So when you find purpose, that's when you find yourself. But more importantly, that's when you find God.
Wow. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Morpheus, a gem, a brief gem, buddy. Morpheus, leave a gem for the people.
Mine is just watch what you eat. You know what I'm saying? Work out, read, meditate, and find somebody to love. That's it.
I appreciate that. Well, thank you, gentlemen, for being on the show. I know my gems appreciate it. Our hustlers and our shiners have tuned in. We had a lot of love in the comments. Sorry to everyone that we did not have enough time to come back and chat with y'all, but we do appreciate you being here. I'm going to send you off backstage, and then I'm going to have my final thought and leave a gem before I close the show. But thank you all. Y'all can see where to reach them on social media. These are their handles here in their names. So please make sure that y'all go follow them and show them some love. We will definitely have y'all on again. So I'm going to send y'all backstage real quick. Thank you, fellas.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Wow. I am like truly speechless. I didn't get to do a lot of talking, and y'all know that's rare because I can talk, but I wanted the men to shine. That was such an amazing episode. If you logged on late or you missed it, please catch the replay. Lots of gems dropped. They were playing 0 games tonight. But as they said a mouthful. They've given you plenty. Ladies, the point of having this show, to my ladies, to my diamonds, to my gems, is to really make room in our society and in our lives and our worlds for our men. They still matter. I know that we all independent and we making our own 6 figures and we're doing a lot. And I know a lot of y'all think I don't need a man, I just want a man. But at the end of the day, you are going to need a man because there are just certain things that he has that you don't. And so please remove that attitude that you don't need a man. No one's saying that it takes away from you or robs you of who you are as a woman, but there is something great about a man that can complement you in ways that your homegirls can't. So please make room for our men in society. If we didn't need them, they wouldn't be here, but they are. So learn how to respect them, how to love them, how to coexist with them, how to celebrate and champion them. And until next time, y'all be sure to hustle and shine. Mwah. Love y'all. Bye-bye.